Welcome back to CruiseAway with Derek and Joe, where we're celebrating one of Princess Cruises' biggest launches for their European season of sailings for 2026. Now, we've taken the pick of the crop for you, and there are some real big bumper trips to be had right now.
There sure are. We've got a 32-night Grand European Explorer trip coming up later for April in 2026, combining European ports with Scandinavia on a fascinating itinerary on the Sapphire Princess. Also on Sapphire, a 32-night DreamAway package for August 26 sees us cruising Europe to the UK, Ireland, and then across the pond to Canada, ending in fabulous Boston. Now, all these trips can be booked today with low deposits too.
And they all include Princess Plus, the upgrade, which means that drinks, Wi-Fi, extra dining, room service, fitness classes and so much more are all part of your cruise. So let's not waste a second and head for our first offer. And we're heading for the Northern Lights, Beach and City Lights over 34 nights in October 2026. Sound like a poem then. Starts with a flight from Sydney over to London in the UK for a 2-night hotel stay in the capital city. Beautiful.
Brilliant. Never a bad time to visit London, if you ask me, because it's a hustling, bustling, exciting city and one of the most vibrant capitals on earth. Maybe you're heading across the pond to visit the Rellos. While you're here, you can meet up with them in London and have a fun day out, perhaps. But if it's the first time to London, you've got to hit the hot spots if you can. Your Buckingham Palace, London Eye, some of the great museums like the Natural History, the V&A Museum are there, at your fingertips, and they're free, by the way, to visit, which is great. There's the Gherkin, Houses of Parliament, Big Ben, stroll along South Bank. There is Tower Bridge. You've got to see the crown jewels as well. Then it's time for us to cruise on board the Majestic Princess, and we're going to be on board for 28 nights, which is brilliant. And she was launched as sister to the Royal and Regal Princess, and one thing that they've built into a lot of the newer Princess ships is this real hustle bustle hub meeting point atrium, where there's everything from magicians and jugglers through to musicians and acrobats, and they also have food carvers, other performers there, little cafes. There's lots going on in the atrium, basically, which is brilliant. And whether you are enjoying the daily activities on Princess, things that are open every day for everybody, such as the Sudoku, to the bingo and the quiz, or the sporting activities outside, or whether you are just chilling out and doing your own thing, there's definitely something on offer for everybody. You can enjoy an art auction in the art gallery, bid for some artwork perhaps. You can head up and enjoy movies under the stars. You can learn things like towel folding and napkin you're folding for dinner parties, which actually is a really cool skill to learn for your next party at home. Look what I learnt on a cruise. Ways to archive your cruise photos and make a digital scrapbook and things like that. There's really no end to the things that you can do on a cruise that you never would have thought, oh, you could do that on a cruise. Yes. Actually, they really do offer comprehensive entertainment and enrichment program as well. So lots of lectures from your shore excursions. So, your explorations team will talk you through, the best excursions to book in port to maximise your time, through to world experts that they fly on board to do, specialty acts or indeed specialty lectures.
Yeah, it is incredible. And the great thing about having 28 nights on board is that you don't think to yourself, right, we've only got a week. We've got a week to do everything. Yeah. It's like a challenge, do you know what I mean? You've got plenty of time. There are lovely sea days in between the ports as well, where you can just sit back, relax, enjoy the ship, maybe go and have a spa treatment. Just take life slowly, because remember, this is a holiday after all, so you can be as on the go as you want to, but you can also be as relaxed as you want to as well, and that should be a wonderful pace for this 28-night cruise. And we're cruising out of the south of the UK in Southampton.
And we're heading to Trondheim in Norway first, where you can visit the Open Air Folk Museum and the Nidaros Cathedral downtown. It's a very cool thing to do. On to Tromsø in Norway next, Norway's northernmost city and cruise port. Lovely place to see, and of course heading there it's going to be nice and sort of wintry. Overnight in Alta. Now, you actually, of course, have optimum opportunity here to potentially see the Northern Lights. You can go to the Northern Lights Cathedral, you can head it on an igloo hotel visit, or go and see the lovely huskies while you're there. Then we're into Molde, and again, another chance to potentially see the Northern Lights here. You've got the Atlantic Road, the Marble Caves to visit, lots of other cool things. The Romsdale Museum is another top spot there. Alison's next, where you can actually head to the Atlantic Sea Park, which is supposed to be spectacular, and just take some amazing pictures of the harbour. Then we're back into Southampton, where you can, within arm's reach, you can head on a train or a trip to Bath, or just enjoy Southampton itself. We're on, this is the next cruise, we're on to La Coruña in Spain for the incredible pilgrim city of Santiago de Compostela. So do take a tour there if you can. Then it's Lisbon, capital of beautiful Portugal. Why not take a tour learning about the port wine that is kept in cellars deep beneath the cities, or Cascais. Then it's Ponta Delgada in the Azores, an amazing geothermal island or archipelago of Portugal. You can see the glowing lakes there, crater lakes they're called. Then we're going to cross the Atlantic, where we'll disembark in Fort Lauderdale, and then you're going to have a 2-night hotel stay in fabulous Miami. I love the juxtapose of this cruise.
That took a twist, didn't it?
I know. Ending in tropical Florida. I cannot think of a better way to end your cruise itinerary. And there's tons to see and do in Florida, and Miami itself is brilliant. South Beach is vibrant. It has the iconic Collins Avenue and Art Deco district, which we've got to see. Beautiful architecture there. There's a vibrant salsa beat. They have a little Cuba down there as well. Some great dining options. And Miami Harbour, you've got to get out on a trip of Miami Harbour and see where the rich and famous live, like Oprah, like Madonna. They all have houses on the harbour there.
Oh yeah, you can take one of those little tours, can't you? You just sort of peek over the fence, that kind of thing. That would be good to do, wouldn't it? So, well, a story that begins over in London, then takes you up to the north of Norway to see the Northern Lights, takes you out to Spain and Portugal, and then takes a very different turn across the Atlantic and ends in Miami with a couple of nights there before you then fly back to Sydney. Of course, if you've got other ideas of things you want to do from Miami before you fly back to Sydney, again, just let us know. We can tailor it and make it just the way you want to. We're talking the back end of 2026, remember, so we can put a low deposit down on this today and then start really planning into the future. This, as it is 34 nights. So in the price I'm about to give you, the flight from Sydney over to London, 2 nights in a hotel there, and then your cruise, which is all inclusive as well, remember, on the Majestic Princess from Southampton up to the north of Norway. Hopefully, fingers crossed, no light pollution, should get a perfect view of the aurora if she comes out to play, the Northern Lights. And then you're cruising on to Spain, Portugal, the Azores, and then across to Fort Lauderdale in the States. And then you'll have a 2-night stay in Miami before your flight then back to Sydney. Deposits today, just $800 each to start planning this, and the cost of the entire holiday, which covers so much. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Talk about globe-trotting on this one. There is your price tag. Remember, low deposit, and you can spread the cost of the holiday as well down into 6 or 12 payments with travel pay later as well. But before we do that, let's go and look at the upgrades on the cruise, because it's a whopper of a cruise. It's a double cruise, isn't it? It's 28 nights on the cruise, which is going to be just incredible. And as I said, plenty of sea days for you to just relax and enjoy everything the Majestic Princess has to offer as well. Bear in mind, you've got your 2-night hotel stays in London and indeed in Miami. So to get that for a deposit today of just $800 each is ridiculous. Please make sure you're as quick as you possibly can, because these offers are already booking pretty quickly. Now, when we say that this is all inclusive, what do we mean by that? Let's show you. What we've done is we've factored in Princess Plus, which is a great upgrade. It's just ridiculous. Its value is vast, because you've got a full drinks package for the whole 28 nights of your cruise, unlimited Wi-Fi for a device so you can upload, message the family, do all the social media, keeping up with the news, all of that kind of stuff. Gratuities included. And then there's other perks like extra dining, having food and drink delivered to the very spot you are on the ship, room service, no extra charges charges for that all the way through your 28-night cruise, and you'll get onto the cruise sooner than everyone else because you'll be express boarding too. So it's well worth every single cent of being included in this offer as well. So call us now if you want to tailor that offer further. You can. 1300 407 687 is the toll-free number to call. While you're on your Princess Cruise, by the way, that's my microphone, sorry. I picked up the wrong thing. You'll be wearing one of these. It's called a medallion. It's like a little coin that you just literally clip to whatever you're wearing, or you can, clip it to your clothing. And this little coin here is like magic because it knows where you are on the ship. It's almost like a sat nav actually, and you can use it to find your way around and so much more. It's so clever, it really is. Anyway, listen, we've got no time in this show, so let's move straight on to a grand European explorer trip with your all-inclusive Sapphire Princess cruise. Now this is 32 nights this time. We're looking at big holidays here, which is brilliant. Starting on the 16th of April in 2026, and we're flying this time from Sydney over to romantic Rome for 2 nights in a hotel there. I love Rome. It's just such a nice place to relax, enjoy, take in the history. You don't even need to know the story behind the history of these buildings to see just how awesome and how beautiful they are, from the wonderful statues and carvings everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a place that it's just intoxicating.
It's so enchanting. And I love the food halls they have in Rome as well. You can, like, from district to district, where you've got all these stalls where you can try all these different tempting street foods of Italy, and lots of other cuisines as well. And the shopping there is spectacular. Of course, it is Italy at the end of the day.
Yep.
Then it's time for us to cruise on board the Sapphire Princess, and we're going to be on board for 26 nights, taking in an epic adventure. And this really will become your home from home, as you'll be on there almost a month. What a treat.
I think I could cope with that.
I know. Could you cope with having your bed made every day, Derek, and having all these food options downstairs from your living quarters?
Let's give it a try and see, shall we? I think,
Could you cope with ice cream
job.
every day and all of the best service in the industry? I don't know if you'd be able to manage. I think it'd be too stressful. Well,
and knowing that when you go to a bar and have a glass of white wine or gin and tonic by the pool mid-afternoon, or a nightcap at night, when you're collecting that from the bar, it's not going onto your account.
It's
because
included.
The drinks are included on this offer, and so much more besides as well. So you don't even have that thing of, gosh, I'm on this ship now for 26 nights. What will be the size of my account bill when I leave? You don't have those worries because so many things are taken care of. In fact, actually, the only things you'll really be treating yourselves to are, there are specialty dining restaurants that you'll treat yourself to once in a while, which are lovely and worth doing. Pamper treatments in the spa. And apart from that, the odd excursion in places that you've not been to before, maybe.
Yeah.
So very little that you'll be paying out for on this
gift
cruise.
shop perhaps, but you've got in your package, you've got your Wi-Fi, you've got your beverages as we mentioned, unlimited juice bar as well, premium desserts, fitness classes, you've got the casual dining, Ocean Now delivery, which is food delivered to anywhere you are on the ship with, of course, the medallion, and room service delivery. So this is one of the best cruises to get your all-inclusive on, because you're there for
you don't have to lift a finger on this, do you?
You really, really don't.
Let's go cruising then, shall we?
Let's do it. Where are we off to? Well, first up, we are heading to fabulous Gecko in Sardinia. Oh, beautiful island at the bottom of Italy. Very enchanting Sardinia. Now, one of the tours here is the panoramic wine tasting in Cagliari. Then it's Cartagena in Spain, which is a beautiful port full of ancient history, which served as Hannibal's Spanish headquarters during the Second Punic War with Rome. Then it's Gibraltar, where you can see the ape's den or head on a dolphin safari, perhaps. Speak to your team about that on board. Excursions ahoy. Then La Coruña, Spain, where you can head to Santiago de Compostela or just see the Tower of Hercules right there in the centre of La Coruña. We're on to Bilbao next for the imposing and fabulous Guggenheim Museum, Museum, and the enchanting old town full of delicious pinchos to try. They're tapas, by the way. Then it's Le Havre in France, and of course this is the gateway to Normandy or Paris. Book an excursion. You can actually take in both in a day. It is possible. Next up, though, on the itinerary, we're into Dover in England. Now, a tour from here would be Bath or London. Both of them are reachable by day trip for sure. Next up, it's Oslo in Norway, home of the Vikings, home of the famous ski jump from the Olympics, of course. Beautiful sculpture park, and it is the capital of Norway as well. Then it's Gothenburg in Sweden, the second largest city in beautiful Sweden, full of lovely nature. Take a cycle ride. This is what I did when I was in this port. It was very cool. Copenhagen awaits us next, home of the famous Little Mermaid sculpture on the port, and lots of beautiful places, including the Tivoli Palace. Then we're back into Oslo for a second visit, which is great. Maybe take a little tour while you're here of Fram, Kon-Tiki and the Maritime Museum. We are heading into Gdansk next in Poland, which is an amazing city, known for its amber, actually. Great thing to shop for there. Incredible architecture in Gdansk also. Next up, it's Klaipėda in Lithuania, where you can take a tour of the Best of Nida, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. That's a really cool one to do whilst you're there. World famous. Riga, Latvia awaits us next. Some beautiful gilded buildings there from the Baroque period. They're so enchanting. Take a walking tour of the city is my recommendation. Tallinn, Estonia awaits us next. There is a torch museum there from medieval times. It's very interesting. You've also got the lovely old town to stroll around. Helsinki, Finland is next, and one thing you've got to see here is the rock church, the Tempalukko. It's an amazing structure, and Helsinki Zoo is great. Then it's Stockholm. Oh my gosh, one of the most beautiful cities on earth. If you can, take a cycle tour or walking tour to get the best of everything that city has to offer. Visby next, which is a really interesting UNESCO island in Sweden and known for its medieval festival, and you can learn all about that on tour. Now we're going to disembark in Copenhagen, and you've actually got 2 nights in a hotel in Copenhagen, which is great, so you can explore more of the city. Now of course it is one of the stops also, but it definitely deserves its accolade as Venice of the North, Copenhagen. A series of islands and inlets and lots of lovely canals, some delightful architecture. You have the Tivoli Gardens there, which are like a theme park, the lovely harbour with lots of cafes and restaurants. It is bustling and the people are so friendly. So here is an overview of your epic adventure, taking in a whopping 32 nights all told, including your mini break at the beginning. So heading, from Rome through to beautiful Sardinia, Cartagena, Spain, La Coruña, Bilbao, some other ports there, on into Denmark and Norway, Poland and Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia, Finland and Sweden, and finishing back in fabulous Copenhagen before we fly you back to Sydney.
Well, listen, if you were watching Eurovision, that would tick off a lot of those countries that you hear on Eurovision, wouldn't it? $800 deposit today will secure your price on this one. So that's your flight from Sydney over to Rome, your 2-night hotel stay there, and then that wonderful 26-night all-inclusive epic cruise on the Sapphire Princess, and we've just been through all the wonderful places that goes to, and ending in wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen with a 2-night stay there and your flight back to Sydney. All of that for this price here, or deposit today of just $800 each. This is amazing. This is really, really good, actually, when you consider all of the places that you've ticked off in Europe. And if you want a full look at this, just pop that number into our website and you'll see the full itinerary in much more detail than we've got time to go into now. Here's the upgrade prices. If you want to upgrade to Ocean View, balcony or suite on board, that is just superb. I mean, all the places you're going to there, Spain and Gibraltar, the UK, Denmark, Norway, Poland, Lithuania, Estonia, Finland, Sweden. I mean, ridiculous. It's such a globetrotter, this one, in terms of Europe. Call us right now and get more details. 1300 407 687 is our toll-free number. We are here all day and every day as well, and there's much more on our website right now. In fact, the whole of the Princess 2026 Europe offers are live now on the website. Website, of course, is cruiseaway.com.au. Right, let's move to our third and our final offer then, shall we? Because this is a big one. It's a Dream Away package for August in 2026. Over 32 nights. We're off to Europe again, around the British Isles and across the pond to Canada and the States this time, starting by flying you from Sydney to where we've just been, actually, Copenhagen in Denmark. And we're going to start this Dream Away with 2 nights in Copenhagen.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow,
Look,
it's a lovely city, actually.
It is, and you're going to be there in August in the height of summer too, so it's going to be lush and green and verdant and enchanting. Some of the most spectacular architecture in Europe. Delicious food. If you love the Scandinavian touch as well, that will really resonate with you. But this is a famous view of Copenhagen, of course, with the coloured houses and the fishing boats right there. It is amazing. Then it's time for us to cruise on board Sapphire Princess, and this is going to be 27 nights of cruising as we take in British Isles and Europe, and it is all inclusive once more. So much already packed into your cruise fare. Of course, all your beverages. So that is your wines, your beers, your soft drinks, your blended drinks, your cocktails, your premium coffees, all of that taken care of. Not even a thought, not even a worry each time you're getting your drinks. Your Wi-Fi's included. You've got, anywhere food delivery as well, which is great. And also, stateroom, room service, that's included, and a whole lot more actually packed into it.
It is. It's so good. And actually, even the way you do main dining, it's just changing actually with Princess as well. So you can have your traditional dining times if you want to, early sitting or late sitting or whatever, you can actually reserve as well if you want to, which I think is really, really good, because there are some days where you just think, oh, I don't really know what I fancy. Sometimes you change your mind, so you've got that flexibility to be able to do that. There's a vast array of restaurants, lots are included. Some are more sort of grab and go. You've got the wonderful buffet with masses of choices in there, and then you've got specialty dining. So if you're celebrating something or you just fancy, just something that little bit cut above, you've got, the steakhouse and Italian and lots and lots of different choices there. Theatre shows and live entertainment galore across the ship, right the way through the cruise. And the great thing is you can take part in as much or as little as you want to. If you want just like a quiet drink in a quiet lounge, it will be there for you. And if you want to be raving and misbehaving until the wee small hours of the morning, no problem, that's there for you as well. So the great thing about a cruise, it just gives you so much freedom and flexibility. So let's do our 26 nights then. We started in Copenhagen.
We have, and we've gone straight to Gdańsk in Poland first, where you can visit lots of the lovely history that this port has to offer. Take a tour of the old town if you can. Next, it's Klaipėda in Lithuania. Now, one of the tours here I'd recommend is Klaipėda Highlights and Sturys Brewery, so you can learn about the beer from this region. Riga, Latvia is on the cards next, and a tour here you can enjoy is the Latvian Ethnographic Open Air Museum. You can learn a lot about the history again of this area. Tallinn, Estonia is up next. What about a best of Tallinn tour to make the most of your day whilst you're there in port, or heading round to Tampere Castle for pictures? Helsinki is next on the list in fabulous Finland. You can learn about when you take a tour of the old town and new town, learn about the ice cutting boats. It's very interesting actually. Then it's Stockholm, which really comes, oh yes.
ABBA Museum.
ABBA Museum, you've got to do
Done.
it. Exactly, that's your day in Stockholm done, exactly. And then it's Visby, also in Sweden, which is so picturesque. I mean, what a beautiful, beautiful island this is. The Island Driving Museum is a good one to do whilst you're there. Then heading into Oslo, Norway's capital, of course, for the Hadeland Glassworks. If you like to do kind of arts and crafty things, that's a good one to do. Then we're into Skagen in Denmark. They named a watch brand after this place. You have got a tour there you can do as a taste of Skagen. Again, of course, these take in a little bit of everything. Then we're in Copenhagen, of course, back into Copenhagen for a little bit more of the flavour of fabulous Denmark. Now, you might want to do a bit of shopping whilst you're there. We're on into Lerwick in the Shetland Islands next, in Scotland, the most northerly point of the British Isles, consisting of over 100 islands. So beautiful. Then it's Stornoway in Scotland, which has been inhabited for more than 6,000 years. You could do the best of the Outer Hebrides tour whilst you're there, or historic island of Lewis. Next up, it's Belfast in Northern Ireland. Now, Belfast is the home of the Titanic exhibit, which is because it was the last stop point of the Titanic. It's very cool to visit. Liverpool, you've got to do the Beatles tour while you're there, haven't you? In the Steps of the Fab Four, that one's called. Learn about the history of the most iconic band in history. Then it's Cork in Ireland, where you got to kiss the Blarney Stone. It's not a might, it's a must. Book your tour, head over to Blarney Castle. It's so beautiful. Then we're going to cross the Atlantic, heading into Sydney in Canada. Cape Breton, a fabled magical travel destination, and so gorgeous. The Highland Village and museums are a fun thing to do. Then it's Halifax, where you can stroll along the pier, take in some shopping, restaurants, cafes, and visit the lighthouse at the end of the pier. Now we're going to disembark in Boston, and you'll have 2 nights in the incredible cradle of American independence, they call Boston. You can head in Boston while you're there. You can head to the Cheers bar, of course, where if everyone doesn't know your name, you should get a refund. I'm just saying. They should. Then you can learn about the Boston Tea Party in the museum, of course. Quincy Marketplace is buzzing, and it's full of so many different food stalls. I have to say, it's my favourite place in Boston. Best cookies ever. Then there's Fenway Park. You can also do the Independence Trail. So Boston is a really incredible city. Now we will fly you back to Sydney after this unbelievable adventure of 32 nights.
Oh, huge. It's brilliant. And it's happening in August as well. So great time for all of these destinations. Included in the price I'm about to give you is the flight from Sydney over to Copenhagen, 2 nights in a hotel there, and then your epic 27-night all-inclusive cruise on Sapphire Princess, taking in all the wonderful ports you're seeing there on the list. You're going here, there and everywhere, ending in Boston in America with a 2-night hotel stay there and then the flight back to Sydney. Deposits today on this CruiseAway package, just $800 per person, and the price of the package is here with the option, of course, to spread the cost with travel pay later as well. Just under $10,000. Incredible for the travel that you are doing here. Let's look at upgrades as well, because lots of you, I know, love to open the doors and let the fresh air in on the balcony while you're on board a cruise ship. And why wouldn't you? It's absolutely wonderful. So there are your prices there for ocean view, for balcony and for suites. All the details, by the way, about the individual cabins and staterooms, they're all on our website. That big long number you see at the top of the screen there on the left, you pop that into our website, cruiseaway.com.au, you'll see full details of the ship and all the itinerary as well. And just a reminder of what you've got included with your Princess Plus package on this offer. So for the whole of the 26-night cruise, full drinks package, unlimited Wi-Fi, express boarding, extra dining, fitness classes, and so much more, including your service charges as well. And listen, on an offer where we don't include the Princess Plus, it's very, very easy to add it to your Princess offer wherever your Princess cruise is around the world. But I would say right now that all eyes are on the Europe 2026 sailings, and that's why we've got some dedicated shows to that, and we'll show you some more of that next time we pop up here on Gecko. And don't forget, talking of that, we are here every single day, 10 a.m. in the morning, 1 and 4 in the afternoon here on Gecko. Always wonderful to have your company. Always lovely to talk about holidays, isn't it?
It is. I mean, yeah, it's not a hard job, is it? No. Exactly. And the thing is, you know, the earlier you book these and lock these deals down, the better it is for you in the future.
Absolutely. See you back here for another CruiseAway soon.
See you soon.